Hello Bags, it's Jade once again giving you another glimpse of the Genesis reveals coming from the Extra Life event. Ark and Wildcard are donating loads of money to charity and fundraising loads, so go and watch them right now, live stream 24 hours as they give us more reveals and hints, including this bad boy, the Magmasaur. The devs are going to talk a lot about this. I'm going to let it play like I've already done for the Ferox. Go and check that video out and make sure you go and check out the Extra Life link in the description box down below and donate some money if you want to support some good causes.
All right.
Holy moly.
Awesome. So then go ahead, if you can, Luke, swap over to this PC and we'll show that off. And when we finally swap it over to the PC and show people what it is, tell us all about it.
Magmasaur.
Yeah, has a name.
Has a name, no longer just lava lizard. It is the Magmasaur. Now I know we showed it in the trailer, which is why we're preempting this early, but we haven't given a whole lot of information about this guy, and we haven't really given other than like a very few shots in the trailer, like much that people have seen. So we wanted to do a little bit of in-depth look, highlight some of its abilities, and show those. I'm sure while I'm talking, they might even show the trailer a few more times, just to keep that content going.
Yeah.
But what this is our Magmasaur. He is a very lizard-like creature, walks around more like a thorny dragon.
You're good to go, by the way, Luke. Just
and he is a fire-based creature, and he is very, very, very based on fire and heat, and that carries throughout all of his abilities and mechanics.
What was that?
Okay.
The trailer has sound. It's going to be hard to hear.
Okay, so I'll try to talk as loud as I can. I hear it has sound. Maybe we can get that fixed, or we'll just won't play the video.
You can lower the sound, by the way, for the video. It's all right. People have seen the video, so it's cool.
Yeah.
So just lower the sound in the video itself. Cool. You're good.
And this guy is very based on heat. So he charges up his internal forge. He charges up his heat, and that's where he builds a lot of his attacks from. And based on what area he's in, if he's in a very cold area or he's in water even, that'll affect his ability to charge. So if he's in a very warm environment, somewhere that's volcanic, he's actually going to be very fast, effective. So he'll charge faster.
That's awesome.
He'll get a little bit more charge, and he'll build up to maximum charge much faster. Once he hits that max charge, he is now a superheated thing. So just getting close to him is actually going to hurt you.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Luckily, the players that are riding him are safe. The saddle that he's in is just a giant heat shield, which has the added benefit of letting you actually swim into lava or swim around in lava or be in much, much hotter environments than you normally would be able to. This guy will protect you from those things, and he'll keep you acclimated to where you can go where he can go. And he can go anywhere.
I heard you say the words internal forge. Did you mean that literally, or did you just mean that
No, quite literally.
Okay.
Wow. You
drop metal into his inventory, and it'll start smelting down into metal, into metal ore. He likes to eat just about everything. He burns down and digests everything, and he can also turn that into a projectile. I'm sure we showed it on the video.
Yeah, go ahead and play the video again. Thank you.
It's quite a fun projectile because it's our first true artillery-like projectile. You can get a lot of height with it. You can shoot out pretty far, especially for a dino. We haven't had a dino with a real ranged attack, other than like short-ranged or like a fire wyvern breath. This projectile is going to reach out quite a bit further.
Is your mic on?
Is my mic on?
Oh.
No, my mic's on?
Cool.
And this is not something like a mech, like a super cannon or anything like that.
Right.
This is a big ball. It's kind of slow. It's fun. And once it...
It's rubbing this.
Is it your beard?
No, it's...
We might have to shave this thing off now.
No,
Shave it.
Yeah.
It's the angle or something.
Okay. Thank you.
And once this thing hits an impact somewhere, it's going to explode out in all kinds of fragments, and it's magma, so it leaves behind destruction and creates like almost an area of denial, because going near it's going to burn you. Fire's pretty heavy on this guy, and yes, we will be taking a pass on fire at least his fire effects. They're not going to be as deadly as previous fire effects. They'll be more reasonable, but they will be fire, and it is going to be dangerous. But he's not very fast, and as soon as it starts raining, or if you're in water or it's cold, he becomes a much slower, much weaker. Once he's actually in water, he can't even charge up his forge. He can't build up the heat. He's just completely extinguished and all his fire's out.
Is that the AoE attack, or like how does that work for him? Like,
Well, that's once he's charged up, he's got. I started going into it, but I didn't go into it enough.
I see.
He's got multiple options. Like once you charge that forge up, you can just go in meleeing, and you're going to be burning everything within your range as long as you keep that heat going. You might have to recharge every now and then to keep it up, but you'll get that additional melee, or you can shoot it off and you'll shoot out your lava type projectile, your long range projectile, which is it's going to do some damage. It's going to be something that you'll be worried about, but if you're not standing still, it should be easy to dodge at a distance. But up close, it can come in pretty fast. Or you can do a short-ranged AoE attack, which they showed in the video, and it looked amazing. That's where all those projectiles were coming flying out of his back and all around the place. It's just he just extinguishes and pushes out his forge and cools it down like rapid fast while doing damage to everything around him.
I heard you talking about the long range attack. I know that with Extinction, people were a little concerned with the range of which some things could attack. Are you taking that into consideration while designing this thing?
Yeah, absolutely. I spend maybe a little bit too much time sometimes talking to our players and listening to what they want. I'm sure a lot would say not enough because my Discord is always full in the morning, and I'm cycling through reading all those things. A lot of it's not so great. It's just not nice. But I do read it all, and I try to respond to what I can. But I'm always listening to what people are saying, taking the feedback that they're saying, and really analyzing the situation to see what the problems are, what the real downsides are. And with this, we're definitely pushing ourselves to the next tier as far as what we're holding ourselves accountable for and what we're trying to account for. And things like turrets and making sure that those are still effective against this while not being overly effective and making it useless. It's a difficult problem, but we're definitely shooting to solve it and making sure that this is going to do it. And his range is not limited to turret range, but it's really close, and at a distance it is very hard to hit accurately. It's more of a
skill shot type of.
It's well, at a distance it's a very, very high skill shot, but you're going to have to arc it up and you won't be able to see where you're actually shooting, more like a traditional artillery shell. And you're not going to be able to deliver exactly on target. It's going to take time to dial in your shot and where you're going. People who are good at this will be able to, because they always get that good. But it's still going to be a very slow thing coming in because it's going to have to go really high up, and it's a fireball. Like, you can't not see it.
Yeah.
So it's coming, and you'll be able to get out of the way. And it's not something like a cannon that's just going to destroy structures left and right. But it will be something that you should worry about. It'll be fun.
Yeah. No,
I've got to say, this is one of my favorite dinos.
Nice. I was going to ask you which is one of your favorites so far.
This is one of my favorites.
Nice.
Magmasaur is.
I thought you were gonna start saying it. I was like, time out.
He's cool.
Compare it.
He is cool.
I think, like, stylistically, I love what the Magmasaur looks like. Even that. So I don't know which one on the concept art is the Magmasaur, but that is sick. Like, that's a really cool shot. A really cool look. I love everything about it. That to me, it's basically like a giant mobile tank. Like, it is crazy to see it in actual context in the game. And like the first time I saw it, I was like, this is crazy cool. I was like, there's a lot that this thing can offer. So just another aspect of an exciting thing coming out of Genesis. And it fits a lot in, like, it fits a bit of a niche that like hasn't quite been filled yet, and it just does it all.
Yeah, and one of the bigger challenges is if you're dealing with a dinosaur, like, how do you make these things have a cost? Like, because everything does have to have a cost. Like, you have to earn it somehow. And it has to be something that if you're going to use it, especially in our game, because items and dinos, everything that you get, you have to work to get to that. Like, it takes a lot of time and effort to get to a base or to get to, you know, having a really good Rex or anything like that. These things all have a cost of time. So for us to give something an ability, an attack, to make it strong, it has to have a cost. It has to be something that, you know, you feel the effect of it before making that decision. So this guy, we're exploring that his projectile is a more food-based projectile. So each time he's shooting it, he's consuming significant amounts of food while shooting it. So the challenge is keeping him full and keeping him fed, you know, and his ammo is food. But he does have more, of course, effective foods. So like fuel sources like oil, gas, propellant will be much more effective for this. That is his ammo essentially, but he'll still eat everything else like a normal dino. But this way, we're going for balance as much as we can, but at the same time, it's got to be fun. If it's not enjoyable and it's not something that's exciting,
use it. Yeah, I mean,
and if it's not a little bit scary, then it's not as fun. So we're gonna deliver.
I mean, it sounds like, I mean, at least with the first two creatures that we've heard about and in terms of more detail, it sounds like there's a little bit more management in terms of managing states. You know, with this, it's more of managing the heat state. And when you want to, you know, and with the shapeshifter, sorry, I want to say proper names, it's more of managing, you know, its state and its element. So I find that interesting because I like things like that. You know, I like a little bit more strategy and management when it comes to managing creatures. So I'm interested with those type of mechanics because those are the things that, honestly, they draw me a little bit closer to whichever creature I'm particularly using at that point.
Well, and the more we start diving into what a creature can do and what it can do really well, and we try to push that boundary, like you get closer and closer, and it gets easier to make something that's too strong.
Yep.
So we have to find ways to, you know, make it, this is the way you need to play, and kind of direct that creature's abilities into a format so that you can counterplay it. So that you know what they're doing and that you can play it badly, because if there's a way to play it wrong, then playing it right is so much more rewarding and it's fun. And it's making sure that they can play it right and they can play it fun. But if you don't play it right, and if someone is, you know, that's long range and just moving and shooting back at him, is going to be a hassle for this.
I did just want to add a little bit here. Look at this, these branches, these thorns. This is part of this biome by the looks of things. Is this the type of corruption that's manifested since extinction? Let me know your thoughts, guys.
Other people an opportunity to counter it, and that's important too. Like,
No, it's very important.
for something to be strong, it has to be able to be dealt with, because then it just becomes the thing that everyone's using. And
Manic armor.
Alex.
Manic armor. Well, and it was, and that's the thing is, you know, we tread that fine line between fun and balanced, and it's a very
It's a fine line. No,